I think I have a good shot at even winning the Iowa caucus. One individual, a Secretary of State, without any trial or procedure or anything else.
Secondly, there was an over 8-hour hearing. That's why Vivek has been called out for lying multiple times throughout his campaign.
I'm actually data-driven, and so I'm running this campaign the way I would run a business.
Now, I love this line because it's like I'm data-driven until the data shows that my campaign is dead in the dirt, and then it's no, the data is wrong, just trust me. If anyone was wondering, Vivek is still around and just as delusional as ever, despite now polling closer to Chris Christie than Nikki Haley, both of which who are a far cry from frontrunner Donald Trump. However, Vivek still thinks he's the man to bring a landslide win to Republicans in the general election because not even being able to place top 3 in your own primary doesn't matter, and he thinks he has enough non-polled voters to take him from 4th place to even possibly winning. Now, the chance of him even having enough to place top 3 is pretty slim, but let's watch him confidently state how he thinks he's going to win the Iowa caucus.
I think the polls are dead off is the answer. So I'm here in Iowa. I have done more events than any of the other candidates, actually all of the other candidates combined. And what we're seeing, even the event that I just came out of right now, is that many of our supporters, actually most of our supporters, are first-time caucus goers, people who have never been to a caucus, many of whom are not polled, actually none of whom have been polled. So I think we're going to deliver a major shock on January 15th. I think I have a good shot at even winning the Iowa caucus. That will turn this race upside down and propel me forward. I still expect to be the nominee and expect to be the next president. And I do think it's going to take somebody from the outside and somebody from the next generation to get this job done. That's what people are hungry for, and I wouldn't believe the polls for a second.
Now, to be clear on what we're talking about, in Iowa, Vivek is polling 6%, which is over 9% behind Nikki, who is still 3% behind DeSantis, of whom is trailing Trump by 31%. So yeah, good luck there, buddy. He's hoping to have enough unpolled voters to make up for over 44% if he wants to win, which is not only unparalleled, but a month out from the Iowa caucus, most of the people polled to win end up winning. So it's kind of clear cut. This is just delusion at its finest. And if we zoom out to the entirety of the Republican primary, Vivek is sitting now only at 3.5%. So there's no reason for him to even really feel this way. That's only 0.1% above Christie, who he spent a lot of time in his debates and interviews lambasting for being irrelevant in this election. But he's now just barely more relevant than him. That's irony at its finest. And with Vivek also pulling TV ads, this is a campaign just ready to go and is only being continued by ego at this point. But in the interview, they do go on to discuss Trump being taken off the ballots in various states, and with Vivek's campaign failing, how willing he is to just jump on the sword with old Donald.
Of course, Maine this week becoming the 2nd state to remove Donald Trump from their primary ballots. Now, you have pledged to withdraw from the Maine ballot in protest. Do you still plan on doing that? And how did you come to that decision?
Yeah, look, it wasn't in protest. I'm actually a very practical person. I think that it was deeply unconstitutional and wrong for one individual, a Secretary of State, without any trial or procedure or anything else, just to decide and wake up one day Donald Trump's not on the ballot.
Okay, so this is just a gross lie, how he's trying to represent this. First, the case was brought by Republicans to the Secretary of State. Secondly, there was an over 8-hour hearing with both sides presenting evidence and their case, and a then 34-page ruling on the matter. To lie and try to paint this as one person randomly waking up and saying, we're going to take him off the ballots, is the exact type of misleading that not only Vivek is known for, but Republicans. And that's why Vivek has been called out for lying multiple times throughout his campaign. Do you think that Vivek would pull himself off the ballot in Texas if they pulled Joe Biden off for completely unconstitutional reasons that are clearly just revenge for it happening to Donald Trump? Or do you think he'd let that fly under the radar? It's crazy how he hasn't mentioned that at all.
Well, look, I'm an outsider. I'm a businessman. I've never run for office before. But unlike a lot of other candidates, I'm actually data-driven. And so I'm running this campaign the way I would run a business. Most candidates are like puppets on an assembly line. I'm not some product on an assembly line. I'm running this campaign the way I'm going to run this country. including driven by data and making smart decisions.
Now, I love this line because it's like I'm data driven until the data shows that my campaign is dead in the dirt. And then it's no, the data is wrong. Just trust me, I'm going to shock the world. And this clip was how long, and all we got from him is that I'm data driven and driven by data. It's kind of funny that that's his one talking point. Him saying that he'll run the country like a business does really scare me, though. Does that mean that he's going to grossly misrepresent our value, and then the second that he sees we're going to crash and fail because of him and you know, the way he misled us and he hyped all these people up to buy into it, he's then just going to sell it off and try to make out clean with a profit and say, you know, it happens, right? Is that, like, I don't understand with all these shady businessmen coming into politics and trying to use that as a draw for their success. Like, Trump failed and bankrupt a lot of businesses. He tried to use being a businessman. Vivek touted a failed drug that he pitched as like the next big thing and failed in the clinical trials, and he sold it for a profit. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video, because the only way we become a society is together.